From now on, my full-time job is finding a guy who's going to take care of me.
You guys are responsible for me and everything else that comes with me.
Hello everyone and welcome back to the MST channel where we talk about all things hypergamy. We're back with In Too Deep, Gambling for a Married Man's Heart. Just like the last video, we're going to be doing 2 chapters in one, as one of the chapters are kind of short. So we're going to be doing part 14 and part 15 in this video. Part 14, Jessica's Household, Maria. Working at the Witherspoons so far has been cool. Jessica and her husband treated me like family, and their little 3-year-old Nick is so adorable and well behaved. Earlier, Miss Jessica's sister came over, and I overheard them talking about Mr. Hodges. His wife is determined to catch him in the act. I didn't want to risk calling Sheila and have someone overhear me, so I texted her instead. I told her about the tracking device they were planning to purchase to put on Mr. Hodges' car. "Are you serious?" Sheila responded. "Yes, girl." And she said she tried the bank account but couldn't get in, so she has to track him instead. "Girl, you got to warn your man," I texted back. "Girl, let me text you when they're back from the spice store." "Okay, Maria. Thanks for keeping me updated," Sheila said. "Maria," I heard Miss Jessica calling me. I locked my phone and went to her. "Is Nick still sleeping?" she asked. "Yes, he is, ma'am," I responded. "Okay. Could you wake him up for me? It's his snack time." "Sure, Miss Jessica," I replied. As I went to wake up Nick, I heard Miss Jessica and her sister opening a box. I woke Nick up and brought him to the kitchen and put him in his high chair. I gave him a juice box and cut up some apples. I gave him the apple slices and peeked in the living room. I saw Miss Jessica and Miss Kathy trying to activate the tracker. I couldn't believe these two. They reminded me of myself and Sheila when we were up to no good. I then saw them get up and go outside. I watched them test out the tracker with the cell phone monitor on Miss Kathy's car. A few minutes later, they headed back towards the house. I ran to the kitchen to sit by baby Nick and pretended to feed him the apple slices. "Nick, baby," Miss Kathy said as she entered the kitchen. She gave him a big kiss on his cheek, and he fed her some of his apples. Miss Jessica then joined her as they both spoke and played with Nick. "Hey, I gotta get going," said Miss Kathy. "I don't want Mike suspecting anything." "Okay, Kathy," Jessica responded. "Thanks for helping me out," Miss Kathy replied. Jessica walked her sister to the car. Miss Jessica came back inside and told me to go take a break and that she would finish feeding Nick. "Thanks, Miss Jessica," I responded as I went to grab my food from my bag and sat out back on her patio and ate. I texted Sheila. "Girl, they have the device. It's a small black thing that looks like a car air freshener. You know, the one that you pin on the vents? I saw them put it under the passenger seat." "Okay, cool. Thank you, Maria," she responded. "Anything for you, friend," I replied. I may have been a snitch, but my loyalty was to my friend always. After I finished eating, I walked back inside. I heard Mr. Witherspoon screaming at Miss Jessica. "Why on earth do you have a tracking device, Jessica?" he asked. "I told you I'm helping out a friend," she responded. "Okay, which friend?" he asked. "I can't tell you, John," he responded. I thought you forgave me for cheating, Jessica. I thought we were past this now. Now you're buying spying equipment? For the last time, John, it isn't mine. Yeah? So why can't you tell me which friend you bought this for? Mr. Witherspoon yelled. John, it's for Kathy, Jessica responded. Kathy? Your sister? John asked. Yes, honey. It's for Kathy. Why would she need a tracking device? Mr. John asked. Well, she suspects Mike, okay? But you cannot say a word to him, John, said Jessica. This is messed up, Jessica. Why do you have the box? Well, she was just testing it out over here, and she left the box, Jessica replied. Jessica, why would you even encourage this? You need to stay out of whatever Mike and Kathy got going on, he warned her. Listen, I'm sorry I yelled. I just don't want a repeat of last year, John said as he held Miss Jessica. I tiptoed past them and went to the playroom where baby Nick was sitting. I already knew it was gonna be a roller coaster working here. If you guys have made it this far in the story, please thumbs up this video and leave a comment on what you think about the story so far. Part 15, Sheila. I woke up in the morning and made myself a cup of hot chocolate. I was a little tired from being up all night thinking about what Maria said. Let me text Mike and tell him not to drive over here because the tracking device might be in his car. Babe, I texted. Call your driver. Your wife put a tracking device on your car. What? He responded. Are you kidding me? Yes, babe. My friend told me your wife and her sister went out to purchase one and tested it out yesterday. I'm not sure which one of your cars she'll put it on, so you can't drive over here, I said. Knowing my wife, she has it on all three, Mike responded. Tell you what, I have golf with some friends at the country club. Once I'm done golfing, I'll leave my car there and call a driver to take me to your place. That way the tracker shows me at the country club, Mike said. Good idea, honey, I replied. I got a surprise for you. I can't wait to see you at noon. Kisses. And I put a heart emoji. Can't wait, Mike replied. I have ran out of excuses. I knew I would have to give up the Ussie soon. I had one more request though. I needed to start my own Airbnb arbitrage business, and I needed Mike's money to fund it. I planned on giving him the sloppiest head, then worked my way up to asking him. With his wife snooping around like this, I needed to secure myself before the money was cut short. I decided to go to the mall and purchase a sexy-ass lingerie to seduce him this afternoon. I found the flyest Agent Provocateur lace black lingerie. It was sexy and crotchless. I also got some scented candles and baby oil with some whipped cream, chocolate, and strawberries. I rushed home and got the place ready. I cleared off the kitchen island and set up the strawberries, chocolate, and whipped cream. I lit the candles and poured out some champagne that Mr. Hodges had left over here. I put on the lingerie, and damn, I was hot. Hopefully, feasting on this pussy would be enough, 'cause I needed that apartment first and foremost. I put on some sexy jazz music. Then my bell rang. I put my heels on quick, and I answered the door. Wow, Mike said, as his eyes grew wide when he looked at my nipples piercing through the lingerie. I grabbed him by his white polo tee collar and closed the door, then walked upstairs, having him follow me so he could stare at this ass. When we got into the candlelit kitchen, I put him on a chair, then climbed up on top of the island and danced seductively for him. He was drooling as I opened and closed my legs in front of him. I then laid down, sprayed whipped cream on my nipples, signaling him to come over and taste them. He bent over and started slowly licking my nipples. My pussy started to throb immensely. I then eased up and gave him the nastiest tongue kiss ever. I then placed a strawberry in between my thick thighs and guided his face there. He devoured the strawberry and then licked my clit passionately until I was shaking uncontrollably. I came in his mouth. I then got up and told him to lay on the counter. I sprayed whipped cream around his perfectly shaved balls and put small chocolate squares on top of the whipped cream, and then slowly ate them off his balls with every lick of the whipped cream. I used my nails to play with his nipples, which drove him crazy. Once the whipped cream was all gone, I sucked his dick like my life depended on it. This made him squirm like a baby as he nutted in my mouth. My gosh, you're fucking incredible, he let out. I smiled and kissed him passionately. After I blew out the candles, I then led him up the stairs to my bedroom. I sat on top of him and dry humped him until we were both coming again. Fuck, Sheila, he bursted out. He was in heaven. I then laid beside him and we cuddled. Sheila, baby? Yes, Mike. I'm going out of town for a golfing trip in Scottsdale. I go every year, but Kathy hates it. She says it's too hot, so I always end up going alone. Would you like to come with me? Sure, honey, I would love that, I replied. Scottsdale has great shopping and beautiful resorts that you could lounge around while I golf, if you don't want to be on the golf course. Baby, I would love to be on the golf course with you, as long as you get me a super sexy golf outfit, I said, laughing. It's a deal, beautiful, he responded as he kissed me again. One thing, though. What's that, Mike? I asked. What am I gonna feel inside that wet pussy? Soon, baby, I promise, I responded as I stared into his eyes. Okay, baby, said Mike. Mike? Yes, honey, he answered. I want to start a business. What kind? He asked. Well, I've been doing some research and I want to do Airbnb. I want to rent an apartment and then do short-term rentals through Airbnb. I heard those businesses do well, Mike replied. Yes, they do. I've been doing my research, and I think I should get a place in this complex that I live in so I can go over and clean it myself. I could start off with a one-bedroom, baby, I said softly, hoping he would say yes. What about school? Mike asked. I want to take a year off, Mike, and try to build something for myself and then start next year. Well, whatever you want to do, I'll support you, baby. How much do you need for the Airbnb? He asked. Well, here's a list of my calculations. I just need around 35,000 to get the place, furniture, and appliances, plus renter's insurance, utilities, and all that. And that would include up to 6 months' rent paid. Okay, tell you what. I'll call my banker, have him wire the money to my lawyer, and then have the lawyer wire it to you. Go ahead and start the application process. Are you serious, Mike? I jumped up on top of him and kissed him. I like that you're ambitious, Sheila. So I'll assist you with anything you need. I'll have him wire you 50,000. Go ahead and pay up the rent for 1 year so you can focus on profits. Thank you, baby, I said, screaming. This was insane. Mike grabbed his phone and called his banker in Switzerland to make the transfer to his lawyer. Then he called his lawyer and instructed him to wire me the money. This turned me the fuck on, but I had to hold out. When is the Scottsdale trip, honey? We leave next Tuesday, he said. Okay, that gives me enough time to apply for the place and start shopping for the furniture then. A piece of advice though, baby. Sign up for an LLC and put the apartment under the name of the LLC. That will be the name of your Airbnb business. Then open a bank account in your LLC's name once you have established it. Okay, baby, I responded. I could seriously cry right now. You are really looking out for me. Of course, Sheila. Anything for you, my baby, he said as he kissed me on my forehead. He was so passionate about me. I was trying hard not to fall in love with this man. All this business talk got my pussy wet. I jumped up and rode his face until I came again in his mouth. After we finished, Mike took a shower, and I made him a BLT with French fries. Mike loved a good BLT. We ate and talked, and he helped me come up with a name for my LLC. Then he helped me to apply for it. We decided to name the business Memorable Stays. About an hour later, my phone went off. It was the $50,000 wire from Markand and Associates, which was Mike's lawyer. I jumped up and down and thanked Mike again. I was on cloud 9. Honey, I gotta get going now, Mike said. I don't want Kathy suspecting me. Okay, baby, I responded. Mike called his driver. About 10 minutes later, his driver came and picked him up. We kissed goodbye. When Mike left, I screamed and ran through the house like a kid. House secured, car secured, business secured. Plus, I'm going out of town with him. He has proven himself, and it's time I went all out for him. If his wife ever found out about us, at least I was set. However, I will continue to milk him until she does, though. Let me go pick out some clothes for Scottsdale. And there you have it. That was the 2 parts. Part 14 and part 15. Part 16, though, is going to have you on the edge of your seats as Jessica helps Kathy to hack. You don't want to miss it. Hack what? You will find out in part 16. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.